What if I told you the world isn't run by people, it's run by systems? Systems decide who gets rich, who stays poor, and who never even gets a chance. Today, we'll break down 8 major economic systems that have shaped nations, empires, and everyday lives, not in textbook language, but in a way that actually makes sense. By the end of this video, you'll realize you were born inside one of these systems without ever choosing it. Capitalism. Capitalism is built on one core idea: private ownership and profit. Individuals or companies own businesses. They compete in open markets. Prices are set by supply and demand. This system rewards efficiency, innovation, and risk-taking. Countries like the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia developed under capitalist foundations. It helped create massive technological growth, global corporations, and consumer choice. But capitalism has a cost. Wealth concentrates. Large corporations gain influence. Those without capital struggle to enter the game. Capitalism doesn't promise fairness. It promises opportunity unevenly distributed. So what happens when a society tries to correct that imbalance? Socialism. Socialism shifts ownership away from individuals and toward the community or the state. Key industries like energy, healthcare, transportation, or education are publicly owned or tightly regulated. The goal is not maximum profit. It's social stability and reduced inequality. Countries such as Sweden, Norway, and Denmark adopted strong socialist policies while still allowing private businesses. Health care, education, and welfare systems are largely state-managed. Socialism reduces extremes of poverty, but it often depends on high taxation and strong institutions. Without efficiency and accountability, state control can become slow, expensive, and politically fragile. Now imagine pushing this idea even further. Communism. Communism aims to eliminate class divisions entirely. There is no private ownership of major resources. Production is planned. Distribution is based on need. In theory, everyone is equal. Countries like the Soviet Union, Maoist China, and Cuba attempted full communist systems. In practice, power often centralized instead of disappearing. Economic decisions became political decisions. Innovation slowed and shortages became common. Communism didn't fail because it wanted equality. It struggled because managing an entire economy from the top proved unsustainable. After these extremes, many nations chose a compromise. Mixed economy. A mixed economy blends market freedom with government oversight. Private businesses exist, but governments regulate markets, provide public services, and intervene during crises. Countries like Germany, France, Japan, and India operate mixed systems. This model allows growth while preventing total market chaos. But balance is fragile. Too much regulation slows innovation. Too little creates inequality and instability. Most modern economies survive by constantly adjusting this balance. But before modern economics, systems were shaped by tradition, not policy. Traditional economy. Traditional economies are based on customs, culture, and inheritance. People produce what their ancestors produced. Roles are defined by family and community. This system still exists in parts of rural Africa, South Asia, and indigenous communities worldwide. It offers stability and social cohesion, but resists innovation and economic growth. Change is slow. Opportunity is limited. Now imagine an economy built entirely on land and loyalty. Feudalism. Feudalism organized society into rigid classes. Landowners controlled resources. Workers exchanged labor for protection. Medieval Europe, Japan's shogunate, and parts of South Asia followed feudal structures. Wealth and power were inherited, not earned. Economic mobility was nearly impossible. While feudalism created order, it locked societies into inequality for centuries. Then nations discovered a new obsession: national wealth. Mercantilism. Mercantilism focused on strengthening the state through trade control. Exports were encouraged. Imports were restricted. Gold and silver were symbols of power. European empires like Britain, Spain, and France followed mercantilist policies during colonial expansion. This system fueled global trade, but also colonization, exploitation, and conflict. Economic competition became geopolitical rivalry. Is there a system that tries to spread ownership without state domination? Distributism. Distributism argues that property and productive assets should be widely owned, not controlled by corporations, not centralized by the state. It influenced economic thinking in parts of Italy, Ireland, and Catholic social movements in Europe. The idea is simple. When ownership is widespread, society becomes more stable. The challenge is scale. In a globalized economy, maintaining small ownership structures is increasingly difficult. No country follows a single system perfectly. Every nation borrows. Every system compromises. Economics is not about ideology, it's about survival, stability, and control. The real question is which system is best. The real question is, who benefits from the system you're living in? Thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe for such kind of informative videos.